Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Live Ones. It is Monday, June 13th, 2022. A very quiet weekend of sports, unless you were into all the drama in the golf world with the launch of Saudi Arabia's latest sports washing pageant in the form of the LIV Golf Tour. Just the sheer excess, the ridiculous amount of money shelled out to entice players away from the PGA, the absolute shamelessness of it all. It was just a sight to behold, for sure. A sight to behold to the few people who watched the stream on YouTube. Anyway, 43,000 after the initial first day. Certainly not what I think they were expecting, considering the sheer amount of money they poured into it. But then, hey, you can't put a price tag on making the world forget that you're a despotic, Wahhabist, fundamentalist state with one of the worst human rights records on the planet, can you? We got the NBA Finals and a short slate of Monday baseball to go over. Let's get right to it, and we're going to start off with the Celtics and the Warriors. NBA Finals Game 5 in Golden State. The trends here are as clear as they could possibly get. Boston has been all but invincible after a loss over the past couple of months. Since January 29th, the Celtics are an impossibly good 12-1 straight up after a loss. Straight up and against the spread, 12-1. All but one of those 12 wins are by at least 8 points, and half of them are by 20 or more. So, these guys, you see it all the time. They get complacent after wins. They make a lot of turnovers the next game. They're generally really sloppy. That's why round 2 and round 3 both went to 7 games. But they get kicked in the ass after a loss, and it motivates them to clean things up for one night. And Golden State has been just the opposite. Since the beginning of round 2, the Warriors are only 3-5 straight up after a playoff win. They're an ugly 2-6 against the spread in those games, failing to cover by an average of 8.5 points in those losses. I got the Celtics here as the road dog coming off a loss at +4. I'm taking the Celtics right there, +4 points. Absolutely any day of the week. Celtics +4. That's my play for tonight. Over to baseball, Orioles and the Blue Jays. Kyle Bradish on the mound for the Orioles. He has had a couple of semi-decent starts in a row in that they're pulling him before he can do too much damage. In both of his last 2 starts, he's gotten through 4 2/3 innings and given up 2 earned runs doing it. But it was against Seattle and the Cubs, respectively, 2 absolute snoozers of offenses. Now he goes on the road against the Blue Jays, who are top 5 in batting average and OPS and who have come alive with the long ball lately. Bradish has a dismal ERA on the road. It's over 8. And while he's kept the runs down the last 2 starts, his whip is over 2. And opponents have a .448 on-base percentage against him in his last 3 starts. Think about that. That means he's letting almost half the batters he faces get on base. And then just, getting bailed out by defense. That is terrible. I think the Blue Jays are going to go off on this guy and the dismal Orioles bullpen tonight. I'm taking their team total over 4.5 runs. And last but not least, the Padres and the Cubs. The Cubs could not possibly be happier to return to Wrigley Field. The Cubs went 0-4 with a rainout in what was supposed to be a 5-game road trip, and the pitching staff they just got the shit kicked out of them. The absolute shit kicked out of them by the Yankees. Cubs pitching allowed 11 home runs in the 3-game series and were outscored by a total of 28-5 by the Yankees. After losing 2-1 in the first game, things went completely off the rails in the final 2 games, culminating in Sunday's 18-4 loss, where they finally had to wave the white flag and put up their first baseman, Frank Schwindel, on the mound in the 9th. The Cubs bullpen is just exhausted, and the team is going to be pressuring starter Justin Steele to go as deep into the game as he possibly can today, no matter how many runs he gives up in the process. The Padres aren't an overwhelming offense by any means, 17th in the majors in terms of runs per game, but with that recipe in place, they're definitely going to get some runs across the plate tonight. And with Yu Darvish taking the hill for them and the Cubs' own lackluster offense, I think the Padres on the money line is the play for me tonight. I'm taking it. That is third and final play for the night. Everyone, bet safe, stay safe. Follow us on Twitter at LiveOneSports. Check us out on Roku and Fire TV at the Live Ones. Have yourselves a great Monday night, and I will see you next time.